Okay, this is to help people doing research on sister locks, and I'm going to be talking particularly about the disadvantages or the downsides of having sister locks. There are some. There are lots of positives, but there are some downsides, so I'm going to quickly run through them. So first thing is cost. It does cost quite a bit to get sister locks put in. It costs a lot to get them installed in the first place, and also after you get them installed you have to pay every 4 to 8 weeks, as it were, to get them retightened, and that can range from £15 to £25 to £30 an hour if you're in the UK. Now, you can learn to retighten your locks yourself. Sister Locks do regular retightening classes whereby you can go and get trained, learn how to retighten yourself, and you don't have to pay your consultant that cost for your retightenings. But this is something that you need to bear in mind if you're going forward with Sister Locks. You do have to pay for the installation, and then you do have to pay for regular retightenings. So next thing is time. It can take up to 3 days to get your locks installed. Generally, most people get their locks installed in 2 days, so over 14 or 18 hours. However, some locks take 24 hours to get installed. And all this you need to discuss with your consultant. And it's always you should always bear in mind that when you're getting your installation done, not to book anything for the evening or afterwards, because it depends. You never know how long the installations take, so they can take quite a bit. But your consultant should work with you on this. So upwards of 3 days. So another thing to think about is lint. So when you get your locks put in, you do have to be careful of lint and dust and dirt getting into your hair. So most people with sister locks sleep with a bonnet or on a satin pillowcase. When you're doing your hoovering or your cleaning and your dusting, you need to keep your hair covered. When you're going swimming, great, you can go swimming, but when you're in the sand and all that, just remember that you've got locks in your hair and they don't wash as easily as they did previously. So this leads me up to the next thing, which is washing your hair. It will take longer to wash your hair with locks than it would do if you had free-flowing natural hair. That's because you need to rinse properly, because you need to get all the product out of your hair, and that will just lengthen the amount of time you spend in the shower, so bear that in mind. Sorry, I've got my list below, so I'm trying to read so I don't forget. When you first get your sister locks put in, you're going to do a lot of braiding and banding. Some people don't like this, but it's just for a short while, but that's something you have to bear in mind. That's with sister locks, you can wash your hair almost immediately you get your locks put in, but you have to follow specific instructions that your consultant should give you. And obviously the downside of this is that sometimes some people struggle to wash their hair properly because of the braiding and the banding, and it takes a while to put the braids and the banding in. But it's just one of those things that you need to do if you want to get sister locks, and your consultant will talk you through how to braid and band properly. So no colouring at first. So once you get your sister locks put in, you probably can't colour your hair for quite a bit. Again, your consultant will talk you through that, so that's something to bear in mind. So if you're going to colour before you get your locks put in. So also, you don't put oils and creams and all that in your hair when you first get them put in, when you first get your locks put in, so that's something to bear in mind, because your hair will be oil free for quite a while until your locks kind of mature. Your consultant should then again advise you when your locks are mature and you can go on and put the oils in. This is one of the big things that I didn't realise could happen, and I think it's quite important that you should know this if you are getting locks, is that your locks can break off. Yep, they can just drop off, they can fall out, they can break off. And that may be caused by a weakness in your locks, it might be caused by health reasons, it might be caused by your locks not being stored properly. There are a whole load of reasons why your locks kind of thin out and fall off, or just drop off. So your consultant should be able to see where locks are getting thin, and she should be able to help you rectify that. Obviously, if it's a medical thing and you have health problems, then it is what it is, and you just have to deal with it. But yes, your locks can fall out, your individual locks can fall on the floor, so you do need to bear that in mind. So when you get your sister locks put in, and when you get your hair retightened, it shouldn't be painful. But quite a few ladies have said that they've experienced quite a bit of pain with their locks. I really don't know why, but loads of people have said that they experience pain, but technically you shouldn't. But you know, as I'm talking about downsides and disadvantages, I might as well mention pain. Some people experience pain, but I really don't know why they do, but it is what it is. So those are the only downsides I've got on my list. Having said that, I think the benefit of having sister locks or locks in general outweighs any negativity. Most of these downsides can be combated. Like for example, you know, in terms of cost, if you learn how to retire your hair, that cuts down on costs. Obviously, what you could also do is look out for deals, especially with new consultants, because they tend to offer deals where they can give you a really good deal to get your locks installed. So, you know, look up on the new trainees. Having said that, when you go with a trainee, you have to bear in mind that it might take you a very long time to get your locks put in, because trainees have just learned how to put the locks in, and they are very careful to make sure that they do it properly. So you might find that you're spending a longer time in the chair with a trainee as opposed to a
You could have gone to kayak.com.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Telly's come back on. Sorry, I don't want to record this again. So I'm going to... Okay, sorry about that. So a trainee will cost more than a consultant, so you do need to bear that in mind. Also, when you're getting your locks retightened, it will normally take a trainee longer than a full consultant or someone that's really experienced, or an experienced sister lock installer. It might take a trainee a bit longer. So on average, you could be getting your hair retightened from anything from 2 to 7 hours. And this depends on the speed of the technician, and it also depends on if you have issues with slippage. So if you have issues with slippage, that is for that means the locks unraveling rather. It will take longer to get your locks installed or retightened. So you know, you do need to bear that in mind. And that's it. So as I said, the positivity outweighs negativity, and I'm a Sister Lock consultant, so you might say I'm biased, but I do think the freedom that Sister Locks gives you and the ability to grow your own hair and love your own hair outweighs anything that is negative. But as I said, this is for people that are doing research and just to help you with your research. So thanks for watching.